Welcome to section 2 of this course, SQL in the Real World Customer Value Analysis. We're going to be taking a look at some great content here. First, we're going to dig into finding first orders, or really finding the first of anything. And this is a common task you need to use, whether you're dealing with customers, product analysis, operations analysis, almost anything. You're always interested in when something started or when the first event occurred. So we're going to take a look at finding first orders through the Selfjoin, which is just a good review of joins. Then we're going to take a look at window functions, common table expressions to better organize our code. And then once we have that base code written, we're going to break out new versus repeat purchase behavior by creating a dimension based on the value of the order number. Then we're going to actually do a real-life case study where I'm kind of transferring things I've done in the real world over to the DVD rental database, which I think will be a lot of fun. So without further ado, finding first orders, revisiting the Selfjoin. Even though we're not going to use the Selfjoin to find the first orders, I want to review it because it provides a good review of the basics in a more nuanced light. So the Selfjoin, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. Ha ha ha. You join a table to itself. And I usually do it so I can operate on the table using an aggregate while still preserving the full level of detail within the row. Now, that sounds like a lot, but it's as simple as this. Let's say you select a column and the minimum of the date from some table and you group by 1. What is that giving you? It's going to give you the minimum date for that column, which is column 1. Now, what if we do select column 1, column 2, min date from table T, group by 1, 2, which is 1, 2, positional reference? That gives me the minimum date with respect to the combination of column 1 and column 2. So when you think about if you wanted to go into a table and get all the different columns for a customer's first order, the minute you depart from just saying customer ID, minimum of the date that they ordered, you'll start getting rows that reflect the minimum with respect to multiple things, not just a customer in the absolute sense. So we're going to take a look at a way around this, of course. And if we jump into pgadmin here, I've already written the code. It's very simple. And I didn't want to spend time typing it out. We did it in the last course, but I just wanted to walk you through it step by step by step. So basically, again, the goal is to find all the information about a customer's first order. And we have that here. So let me just walk through it. So let's revisit the payment table, select everything from payment P. And as you can see, we have around 14,596 rows. Now, this represents every time somebody paid. So that's not what we want. We just want one row for every customer where the row represents their earliest payment date. So we know we can do this, right? So this is our inner query. Let's run that. And now we just have a row for every customer. So we have the customer and we have their minimum payment date. But if we start adding more columns to this, we'll get the min of the date with respect to the customer ID and the other attribute. And that won't work because we'll have, let's just do it real quick. So I think store ID and group by 1, 2. Let's see what the actual name of the column is. Staff ID, rather. So let's just update that inner query real quick. And now we have, like 1,198 rows. And if we order by 1, you'll see where you have more than one row per customer. Right. So this is the customer's first row with respect to their customer ID and the staff ID, which is, I think, the person who rented them the DVD. So that's why getting more columns, right? It's not going to work. So we have our base table again here. Make sure it's working. Okay, we have our, one row per customer there. Now we're joining this to this, and keep in mind it's an inner join, right? So the inner join only keeps rows that match on both sides of the query, on this side and on this side. And what we're doing here is we're aliasing this as T. I could call that zebra. It doesn't really matter. I'll call it zebra, just so you don't think that T actually means anything. And so we're joining all the data to a subset of the data, and we're doing so on the zebra first order date, which is a reference to this, because this is just zebra, equals to p dot payment date, which is coming from up here. And if you actually just run that, you see that we do get the correct data. We still retain all of our attributes for further analysis. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Now, what if we wanted to start analyzing, just as a way to kind of conclude this with another option for analysis? Let's say we wanted to find customers who first ordered from staff ID equal to 2. Okay, we can just say, select all from T where T dot staff ID is equal to 2. And I'll just indent this a little bit because we're getting a little nested here. And there we go. So now we have a list of folks whose first order, absolute first order, which is derived from this, is now filtered on where the staff ID was equal to 2. So this is convoluted. In the next section, we're going to see a cleaner method, but this is a good way to kind of gut check yourself on whether or not you understand the concept of joins, with the tricky case of applying a join to the table itself. So hopefully that made sense.